Pentecostal. And the girl I was going to school with, her family went there, so they got me to going. And I was saved there. I was filled with the Holy Spirit.
And how old were you then?
15.
15.
And he didn't want to hear it.
No, his butt hurts.
No, my butt hurt.
Yeah, that's
Rachel.
I
Yeah.
could have moved and you could have had
well,
This
they could have
chair.
had this other chair over here. But
This sofa's
at any rate, why, the church was Pentecostal, and we began again to go, and I was filled with the Holy Spirit. And I don't know, it's just been part of life. It's the only way to go. I got my sister, her little girl passed away when she was 3 years old. And she used to take off, and Mom wouldn't know where she was at for a while.
that was Aunt Mary's daughter. Yeah. And what was her name?
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Henry's daughter was named after Henry. Told Mary, if I ever have a daughter, I'm going to name her Geraldine Sue. He didn't. They call her Jerry Sue. That's why they call her Jerry Sue. They didn't want to call her Geraldine. So we.
Jerry Sue?
Uh-huh.
Daddy wanted to name my name Sue. I wonder if that's...
But Geraldine Sue is her real name, but they call her Jerry Sue, which is all right. But Henry had been in the CC camps, and he had just come home, and he was so crazy about that little girl. And she mysteriously got sick. We really don't know for sure what was wrong with her. But Mary had been gone, and she had just come home when she got, we still don't know. Mary said that there was supposed to have been a mad dog that bit a little boy, and he went blind, and he bit Geraldine, and she died, so I don't know. But I know she was in the hospital, and she got paralyzed on the left side, but she could massage her arm, and she'd get where she could use it. So if she was paralyzed, it wouldn't get better, but if you could rub it, and you could bend her arm. But her temperature went up, and they had to transfer her to Tulsa because the Sapulpa Hospital didn't have the facilities. And her temperature got up to 106. And it was too much. They couldn't get it down. And she passed away, and after she died, why, there was pus and stuff running out her nose. We still don't know. She's supposed to have had paranoid poisoning and pneumonia. They drove her into pneumonia with packing her an ice pack, trying to get her temperature down.
Now, is she the one that's buried with your little brother, Johnny?
Johnny was my mother's and
Right.
daddy's son.
Your little brother. He
Yeah,
died
my
when he was...
little brother. He
was
died
little.
right before Daddy left. They buried him, and my father took off with his girlfriend.
So is Geraldine buried? Isn't she the one that's
She's
buried?
Mary's daughter.
Yes. She's buried with Johnny or near?
No, she's born. They're in the same section, but
Okay.
they're
yeah.
not side by side.
Okay.
Any rate, why Henry, he just really went berserk when Geraldine died. He said he was so crazy about her, and we'll never understand really what did happen, because if she was bitten by the dog, I don't remember it. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm 15 years old. That's been a lot of years ago. But she was the sweetest and the smartest little girl that you've ever seen in your life. And Mary had been gone, and she had bought her a new pair of shoes, I can remember. And if Mom would get a job where she could make some money, well, I'd have to stay home from school to babysit Geraldine. And she'd pretend she was a neighbor. She said, now, Grandma, I'll come to the door and I'll be Mrs. Petty. And you invite me in. And we'd just pretend, she was just such a sweetheart. And smart for her age. But she got sick mysteriously, and Mary it just about finished her up. She got to go into church, and she was really turned her life around for a while. But
Yeah, did she
boy,
go
I
to
tell
church
you
with
what,
you?
we all suffered over that when she was such a sweetheart.
So did Aunt Mary go to church with you, to the church that you went to
Yeah,
and got
she went
saved in?
for a while. She was saved and didn't stay with it.
I'm talking about it's Aunt Mary.
Aunt Mary.
I
Mary.
hope she got it right before she passed away. Hopefully she did.
Yeah.
I'd call her on the phone and talk to her about making it right.
Yeah. So now were Geraldine and Ken brother and sister?
Yes, they
And what-
looked identical alike.
Really? And then was there another one?
No,
That was just
no,
the
they're
two.
just the two
So
of
now
them.
Ken's the only one that's left. Okay. So it,
Mary had a big picture. I don't know what Kenneth Ray's did with that. I bet he don't have it in his house. Of Geraldine, I hope he's taking care of it. His wife is so particular about what's in her house and all that. I don't know if she'd have it up or not. They have a nice home.
yeah.
Have you ever been to Oregon?
Yeah, Danny and I were up there about 2 or 3 years ago. We
Oh.
went up. We saw his family in Salem, and we saw Ken and Leanne in Portland. And we hear from them off and on the internet. Their doggy,
Well,
the doggy just died a few months ago. Their Lucy. But
I went up there when Mary was sick, and I was there when she died.
Oh, were
And
you?
I stayed for the funeral, and then I come home.
Yeah.
They was going to have her cremated. I came home before the funeral. I told him I couldn't stand to see her cremated. I don't believe in that.
Oh.
But everybody to their own way. She wanted to be cremated where she could be set in beside Raymond. Raymond was in a casket.
Oh.
And she wanted in an urn where she could be set in beside him.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we might have to
tell her.
start. We might have to start hitting the freeways before they get too bad.